All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Yeah. Coming at you this evening after a wild Impact Wrestling show. We are going to be talking about some under pressure fallout. But before we get into that, I want to let you know that there is plenty more of this kind of content where plenty more content where that came from. Go check out the rest of the channel. Plenty of stuff on Impact Wrestling. Some discussion on CM Punk recently. We talk a little bit of AAA. All sorts of stuff under the sun in the world of professional wrestling. Go check it out. Go like the content if you dig it. Give the channel a sub and ring that bell for notifications so that you know that more of my content hits your screen, especially with all the changes in YouTube lately. Some good, some bad. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Also, before I get into tonight's review, I want to give a shout out, and I got the page up here, so don't discredit anything, credit anything incorrectly. I got tagged in something recently, and I got a shout out on a podcast recently. Jason and the guys from DiscussPW.com. They also have a YouTube channel, and when I'm done doing this live, I'll put the link for their stuff in the description of this, and you can go check them out. They were discussing all sorts of things. They were talking about Ready to Rumble. Oh, they were discussing David Arquette's return to professional wrestling. Then they were talking a little bit about the old classic wrestling movie, Ready to Rumble, and some other classic. So they were kind of all over the place, talking about different things. Give a not so nice shout out to Jeff Jarrett. But then they were also talking about shows that they liked, and they were listing off a few, and last on the list was me. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, that's, I listen to a lot of different things here and there throughout the week, and this is the first time that I ever heard someone not associated with my channel give me a shout out that they saw my show and that they dug it. So that I was like, wow, that's really cool. So I want to give Jason and the guys from DiscussPW.com and their whole crew, whoever's all involved, I'm not sure of everyone. I'm sure we'll talk down the line somewhere, possibly work together. It would be great. Thank you for the shout out. I much appreciated. Coming up very shortly on a 5-year anniversary of doing this stuff on this channel. That makes me feel really good, more than you know. So cheers to you for the shout out, giving you a shout out back. It's all about sharing, like you said, sharing positive content and sharing podcast love, supporting each other. That's all we're doing. That's awesome. I much appreciated. Cheers to you. Like I said, when I'm done here, I will put the links for all that stuff down in the description. And if you're not watching this live, before I forget, when are they going to review the show? Just wait. Just get your popcorn. Just wait a minute. Before I forget, if you don't catch this whole thing live, you can catch the replay of this on rantwithant.com. Ant and the guys starting a whole new empire over there, bringing in new guys all the time. Great podcast, good article writing too. So go check that out. That link should be in the description, I believe, rantwithant.com, where you will find Impact reviews like this and all sorts of other wrestling content as well. All right, get out of this. All right, so, and I have the chat up. So if you care to give me some feedback throughout the show, whatever, connect with me, that's awesome as well. I'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the show here. Impact Wrestling, like I said, we're going to talk some Under Pressure, Fallout, wild show last week as far as, you know, championships being on the line. And we didn't see all the champs tonight. But what we did see in place of some of the champs being present was some absolutely incredible promo work. The promo work that Impact Wrestling is doing lately is bar none phenomenal. I know I've given WWE a lot of credit in the past for putting together good behind the scenes promo work, all sorts of stuff like that. I don't know who's doing it for Impact Wrestling, but currently is my favorite stuff to watch. The stuff that they put together, like the segment, and I'm going to kind of bounce all over here. The segment that, the new champ, Su Yung, showing some of the aftermath and highlights from their fight from last week at Under Pressure with Ali and Su Yung. That is a prime example of the promo work being done at Impact Wrestling. I love it. Between the music and it just everything, you know, it's just great promo stuff. Hey, what's up? RDW is in the chat this evening. Excuse me. What's up? Good to see you here. Cheers to you. God, where the hell do we start this evening? You know what? Let's start out with one thing that we did not get tonight, which I feel is it's the underlining very important thing that's just, I think we're on the brink of finding out who it is. Actually, we know who it is. And I may be the only one talking about it. That's a guess. I'm not, and I don't usually pat myself on the back much, but I can tell you this. Someone is coming to Impact Wrestling really soon. I was a little unsure of who it was. I'm darn sure of who it is now. The guy who is doing the attacks, the backstage attacks, who has attacked Sanjay Dutt, Jacobs, backstage help, and it's all like I said, it's all random. There's no, oh well, it's this guy, this guy, and this guy, then it must be this guy because, you know, like someone related to the X division. No, it's just all random attacks. And whenever he does show up, it's going to be, I guarantee you, it's going to be one of the most talked about things of the summer in Impact Wrestling. I don't know how they're going to do it, but when he gets here, you can, I've almost have goosebumps talking about it. When Kevin Cross shows up, just do yourself a favor. And I've said this a million times, and I'll say it a million times more. I don't care. Go to Kevin Cross's YouTube page and just watch a handful of his promos that he's put together over the course of the last couple of years. It doesn't matter which ones, whether they're motivational or just downright terrifying things that he's done. And he does them all himself. It's the greatest thing. He doesn't have like a 50-guy crew working on his stuff. No, he puts this stuff together himself. He's better than me. Yeah, I'll say it. Like, I've done great stuff too. Yeah, right. If you notice the quick in the intro where they were showing the Fallout stuff from last week, and they quick show that attack, and they show the back of his head for a quick second, that's him. That's him. And like I said in my review of the Slammiversary press conference, Aries gave it away. I mentioned that in my review. I was I was a little surprised and a little shocked that he gave it away. I would think he would get a little heat for that, but Aries kind of does whatever he does. So, you know, I wasn't thrilled at the fact that he put it out there, but I mean, he didn't straight come out saying, oh, Cross is the guy that did this, this, and this. But he mentioned Cross is in Impact Wrestling. So all you got to do is a little bit of math. And I'm horrible at math, but it's simple math. That's all you got to do. So, yeah, we didn't see him, but he's coming. So hold on to your butts, folks, because he's going to put some butts in seats, let me tell you. But yeah, go check him out. You will not be disappointed. In fact, you might have to put on some Depends in watching some of his promos. This evening we have Josh Matthews and a recovering Don Callis. You look fine. Don Callis on commentary tonight. The more I see these two together, I'm liking them. Obviously, I'm hearing a lot more Don Callis in the world of Impact Wrestling than I am in New Japan, because I don't watch that much New Japan. I watch it real sporadically. But from what I've heard from his stuff on New Japan, and of course more of his stuff now on Impact Wrestling, I'm liking it more and more. I think they work well together. You know, they bounce off of each other, and you don't always see that. You don't always see that. I see people in comments on YouTube saying, "Oh, get rid of Josh Matthews." And you know what? I used to be like that too, when he was more involved in the storylines and not just the guy talking about the matches. I've come to appreciate and respect him a lot more, especially in his behind the scenes stuff that he does when like there's live Twitch events, stuff like that. Props to Josh Matthews. He's really doing a good job on that. We start out this episode with an incredible tag team championship match. Z&E defending their belts against two Lucha Underground guys. Yes, they promote some Lucha Underground here on Impact Wrestling because it's coming up in less than a week, folks. Next Wednesday night, the kickoff to Season 4. I cannot wait. It's been too damn long. Way too long. And this match was really interesting because it doesn't start out the way you typically think a match between these two teams would go. We get everything from chain wrestling, which is how it began, to high-flying, ridiculous tope con holy shito. You know, I mean, it's just... and what's great about Matthews and Callis is where Matthews is more spur of the moment, just reacting to stuff. Callis will be like, "Oh, that was a tope con, took his head off," you know, whatever. And you know, and that's where the two work well together, you know. But yeah, Z&E successfully defending their championship match. Very interesting, you know. We talked a little bit about this in other videos, talking about Chris Jericho announcing his working with Impact Wrestling. no specific details yet other than Impact Wrestling will be with the Jericho cruise coming up in, when is it, October? Oh, I would love to be on that. That would be incredible. Whoever's going on that is going to have a hell of a time between Ring of Honor guys and Impact guys, metal bands. Oh man, what a grand slam of a show. Jeez Louise. Props to Jericho for doing that. And I have a feeling if the wrestling gods align properly, we're going to see Jericho in Impact Wrestling some way, shape, or form in the near future. Maybe not. I'm not talking about next week. I'm just saying somewhere down the line. Possibly as soon as Slammiversary. Just guessing. But the way things are heating up between Sami Callihan and Chris Jericho, I would not doubt it. That's money right there. Where's he going with this? Why I'm bringing up Chris Jericho is because they brought him up during the match. The whole light up thing on Aerostar's mask. And they're like, how do they do that? And they're like, he said something to Callis, something to the effect of, well, why don't you ask Chris Jericho? He does all the whole light up thing in his jacket. Something to that effect. And I'm like, little nod to Jericho there. That's, I have a feeling it's stuff like that is strategically placed. I have to feel like there's a meaning behind it. But yeah, nonetheless, great match. Z&E still your tag team champions. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the tag team division develops from here. We also see the return of Diamante during the backstage segment. King showing up, giving LAX some much needed pep talks lately. Like, hey, you got to get back in the game, Before I talk about this next match between LAX and the Cult of Lee, I was thinking about this while I was watching the show tonight. Probably, I'll say approximately a year ago, I was probably saying something to the effect of WWE had the hottest tag team division going. Matter of opinion, just certain things that were happening, between the Usos turning heel, the New Day were hot. They were on a winning streak that lasted a year and a half, whatever it was. Cesaro and Sheamus, The Bar, along with the Hardys and a couple others. Really shaping tag team wrestling was going really good. And that you could look to the WWE for solid tag team wrestling. Now you've got all the tag teams in the ring throwing rice, beans, hot dogs, and tacos and bologna sandwiches at each other. I gained 5 pounds while watching Raw every week. It's horrible. I need to lose weight. It's sickening, I watch segments like that and I'm just like, okay, what's in the fridge? It's horrible. My wife just laughs at me. Now I turn to a show like Impact Wrestling where they may not have an absolute crap ton of teams on their roster, but they've got OVE. They've got the newly crowned Z&E. LAX is, whether they're winning or losing, is still a damn good team. You've got the guys from Lucha Underground, Aerostar and Drago. You've got the Cult of Lee. that's a solid bunch of guys right there. You know, along with others that I'm sure are going to come in and out. And from what I've heard, I'm not going to give it away here. I know the stuff is out there. You can go find it if you want to. Fellow podcast buddy of mine talked about a certain same but different tag team coming back to the world of Impact Wrestling. That's all I'm going to say. Can't wait to see it. So the tag team division is growing in Impact Wrestling, and dare I say, is now the place for tag team wrestling. Matter of opinion. If you have a different opinion, by all means, give it to me. Talk to me about it. You know, don't say I'm full of shit. Talk to me about it. You know, don't troll me. Because if you troll me, you're out of here. I got no time for trolls. I just try to speak positively about stuff and share the love of professional wrestling. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm like pro wrestling podcast hippie over here, minus the incredible mullet that I lost several years ago. I'm out of Kleenex. Okay. Here, we'll pour some beer for the loss of my hair. Several, you know, we're not going to waste beer. Screw that. All right. Back to the show. Where were we? We're talking about tag team stuff. Diamante's back. Good to see Diamante back in LAX. I don't remember what her injury was. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me about it. She broke a nail. No, I'm kidding. Bad joke. I love female wrestling. Good to see Diamante back. I'm sure she's going to be involved in the Knockouts division sooner than later. My point of this is, though, she doesn't trust Kingston. Why? Why doesn't she trust him? But she walked in the clubhouse and just, she's happy to be back, but she's like, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. She doesn't trust King, and I'm sure we're going to find out why in the following weeks. So, but nonetheless, LAX back on the winning streak. They beat Cult of Lee tonight. So, very important announcement during this tag team match between Cult of Lee and LAX. Rise of the Knockouts, going to be live on their Twitch channel. Impact has their own Twitch channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Good stuff. Always showing classic stuff and newer stuff on there. July 7th. I know where I'm going to be July 7th. And I'm assuming that's going to be an event that's tied in with the Rise company, which is female, all females, similar to Shine and Shimmer. Oh, but they recently had some event going on there. It was like their inaugural event or something. And it was all tied in with the growing the Knockouts division part of Impact Wrestling. So those two are tied together, similar how Impact Wrestling has been working with companies like, oh, God, there's so many. I can't even think of them all. Like Sami Callihan's company, Revolver, and at least a handful of others. I can't think of them. There's a bunch of them. You can go check it out on the impact.com. All right, what's next here? Some cool promos that they cut, looking back at the history of Callahan and Eddie Edwards feud, highlights of the Su Yung Alley fight. What else? Oh, RVD versus Tommy Dreamer from an old Turning Point. I did not see what year that was from. Obviously from at least 10 years ago-ish, give or take a little. crazy fight and really grotesque in the sense of it wasn't bloody, but Tommy Dreamer like broke his wrist or his hand or something, and the bone was like sticking out of the skin. It was sick. It was like, oh my God. Crazy hardcore fight. Really good. And it's stuff like that when they show stuff. Obviously, they're trying to get you to order the GWN network, where you can watch all the classic TNA stuff. And not all of it's great, but there is a lot of good wrestling that happened back then. The way they incorporated the old ECW guys, I'd say bar none, it's probably as good, if way not better, than what WWE did. I think it depends on what match you're talking about. I don't think it was always good, but it was very good. What's else here? Oh, here we go. Page 2. Eli Drake doing the Fact of Life. Top 5 dummies in Impact Wrestling. The fans got 2 places in this list. 2 places. Did I do something? I try to sing the praises and or constructive criticism of Impact Wrestling. Certainly more praise it lately, if anything. Why am I a dummy? I mean, I get called that enough from my wife. I don't need that from Eli Drake. That's just rude. I don't know. I don't get it. Who else is listed here? Management is on the list. Austin Aries. And number 1, Moose. Let me tell you, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'll be the first to admit that. But I sure as hell would not walk up to Moose and call him a dummy. No. Would not do that. Nope. So, coming to the end of this little promo, we have Moose comes out. Brawl ensues. Drake goes over with grand style, slams the podium down on top of him. Not pretty. And Moose is just writhing in pain there. So next week, we are going to have Moose versus Eli Drake. And whoever wins this one is going to be the number 1 contender to face Aries at Slammiversary. Now, of course, spoiler alert. Oh, winked with the wrong eye. Damn it. Always do that. If you saw a press conference, you know how this is going to turn out. So, yeah, I'm not sure why they did that this way, because they have enough problems with people putting out spoilers from tapings and stuff. But hey, when the company does it, it is what it is. They said at the press conference, it is going to be Moose and Aries headlining Slammiversary. I am looking forward to that either way, because one of my favorites is in there and one of my up-and-coming favorites is in there. So, I mean, I don't think what they've done with Moose has been tremendously awesome in the past. Some good, some bad. But I'm very curious to see the rise of this feud, and I'll be obviously covering it very closely. So, but, I still, no matter who I know is going to go down the road and take on whoever in the future, I still want to see Eli Drake versus Moose. Okay. So who knows? Maybe Steiner will come back and kick Drake in the nuts while the ref's back is turned for a little revenge from Under Pressure. And I don't know. Little inside thing on Drake I read recently. I read his contract expired. Beyond that, I have no other details. So, I don't know what that means for Eli Drake. I love his character. I know that some people have gone by the way, and gone on to bigger and better things. Who just showed up in NXT, EC3, the War Raiders. Now, of course, they were Ring of Honor, but they're getting a lot of new faces, and Impact loses a few, but you know what? They always get new faces, so I'm not worried about it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I want Drake to stay. I want him to stay and help grow Impact Wrestling because they are on an upswing again. I'm a firm believer in that. There's been a lot of buzz about them. The way they've been working with other companies and stuff, the Jericho Cruise, Lucha Underground promotion, possibly now working with this was huge. A huge reveal at the press conference. If you missed it, Bone Soldier, Bullet Club member Taji Ishimori is coming back to Impact at Slammiversary. So the fact that they called him Bone Soldier, Bullet Club member, I don't think they'd be saying that if there wasn't maybe a little something with them and New Japan. Nonetheless, it's a positive thing. So, hey, we'll see what happens. So, we're Moose versus Drake next week. We get a much-needed squash match from Brian Cage. And I say that because we've expected the rise of someone like this to be nothing but squash matches. But Brian Cage is so much better than that. He's not just a big, meaty guy like Ryback, where he's like, feed me. Eat too much meat, fart a lot in the ring. Brian Cage runs around like a luchador while doing power moves. It's ridiculous. And there's more and more guys like that in the ring lately, and it's incredible. So next week, Brian Cage, I should name the guy that he beat, and not out of disrespect. Rohit Raju. He beat him in like 10 seconds. Clotheslined him, weapon next him, boom. And then I think the funniest thing of the episode happened. Matt Sydal comes out because next week they're going to fight each other for the X Division Championship, which I cannot wait to see, by the way. Matt Sydal is talking about trying to convert Brian Cage into becoming, opening his third eye. And he's tapping him on the chest and he's poking him in the forehead. Don Callis is like, number one, I wouldn't be touching him. He says something to that effect, and I just busted out laughing so hard. It's like, yeah, this is rocket science. You don't just walk up to Brian Cage and start poking him in his forehead. One too many things in the head to possibly be making that decision to do something like that? That'd be my guess. One too many jumps off the top rope, Seidel. So that's what we're getting next week. Brian Cage versus Matt Seidel for the X Division Championship. So 2 big matches next week. Moose versus Drake, Seidel versus Cage. We get a quick excuse me, a quick Skype call. Say that 10 times real fast. No, I'm not going to. Between Matthews and Austin Aries, talking about him being regaining his championship and, what's coming down the road. Aries being on vacation, drinking something fruity, I'm guessing. I don't know. Tessa Blanchard, Carrie Hogan getting in a brawl amidst a interview with Blanchard from Mackenzie. And then we get the unsanctioned fight between in the woods between Callahan and Edwards, which was brutal. It was bloody. It was dramatic. It was, I will say well produced. I didn't know what to expect, but it looked like, fortunately, the odds were against Edwards. And somehow, some way, Callahan got away. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Even though he basically destroyed all of OVE. This is not going to be, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be the last of the feud between Edwards and Callahan. I have enjoyed it, though. In fact, I put a poll up on my Twitter. Go over there. Well, not now. Finish watching this, and after you can go to the Twitter box and go check out my poll. I put a poll up saying, who's having a better feud right now? Gargano and Ciampa, which is bar none one of the best feuds going right now. Or this, Eddie Edwards and Callahan. I think they're both very similar feuds, getting, extremely violent and crazy and insane and involving significant others. And that's not me saying, oh, NXT is ripping off. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're similar. I love them both, but I want to hear you, the fans, let me know in the comments below or in the poll what you think is a better feud right now. And there's no right or wrong answer, but I will be revealing this in a future vlog here on the J-Bone channel. And it'll be interesting because I know NXT is red hot right now. I'll say this. I would much rather watch an hour of NXT than 3 hours of Raw. And it almost hurts me to say that because I still have a lot of favorites on there that I love watching. Like, yes, I like Roman Reigns. I like Seth Rollins. I like Balor. I like Kevin Owens. I like Braun Strowman. I like a lot of these guys. But the show is so damn unfocused since WrestleMania, it's not even funny. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I just think they need a champion on the show. I'm not saying that Rollins isn't a champion, but they need a champion on the show. Either just strip Lesnar or have him come to Raw and just defend it and lose it because it's ridiculous. If they're purposely just trying to break Punk's streak, it's the most retarded way. I hate using that word. It's the most retarded way of doing it. Because they're like, oh, it's 400 some odd days. No, that's only if you're active, dumbasses. He goes for 2 months at a time being inactive. That means it doesn't count. Anyways, rant over. The hell was I talking about? I don't know. The unsanctioned fight between Edwards and Callahan. Brutal. Bloody. I dug it. Callahan escapes. Dreamer shows up with Alicia, is that her name? I feel like I'm getting that wrong. I think that's right. Alicia Edwards, Edwards' wife, and he ends up giving a bat, not in a nice way either. Here's a Louisville Slugger. No, he gives him a bat the hard way. That didn't sound right either. Oh, if I could turn back time. Anyways, hits him with a bat. There you go. Is that better? That's better. Hits him with a bat. Dreamer's down. Edwards has lost his damn mind. It's getting crazy. And one of the reasons I love this feud so much is because we're so used to watching a, dare I say, squeaky clean babyface like Edwards downward spiraling, evolving into something almost worse, as bad, if not worse, than Callahan. When he was driving whatever that was that a bottle or something into Callahan's head? He was nuts. He was insane, crazy. And it's just watching someone who is so well loved and turn into this it's disturbing. I love it. Yeah, there's that little thing in the back of my head that goes, oh, I want to see more. But I do like this feud. So it almost makes Callahan, on one hand, dare I say, look like the babyface in this. He escaped, barely. But I can't wait to see where this goes. This is probably going to end up being, if I could guess where this is going, because I don't think it's over. This might end up being like Callahan versus Edwards versus Tommy Dreamer in a Monster Balls match. Monsters Ball? Monsters Balls. I had this. Oh my God. The balls of the monster. Monsters Ball match at Slammiversary. Pure speculation. Guessing. We'll see where this goes. Can't wait to see how it happens. So that's it for this one. If you did not catch all of this, by all means, go to rantwithant.com later, very soon. And this will be up on their website. And yeah, thanks for watching. And welcome to all the new subs. I got like, I'm not bragging. I'm humbly thanking all the new subs for subbing. Lots of love for Impact Wrestling on my channel lately. Much appreciated. So by all means, if you're new to the channel, welcome. There's plenty more where that came from. Like I said earlier, go check it out. Give it a like. Give a channel a sub and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my stuff hits your screen. That's it for this one, folks. Peace out. Good night.